So welcome to my first ever Leafy Lovin home plant tour. And this is where I would say confidence meets reality. So you're going to see everything today here in this beautiful pathway. You're going to see what's surviving, you're going to learn what's thriving, and you're also going to learn what is basically holding a grudge as well. I'm going to introduce you to something called Darwin's Corner right at the back there, but you're here for the plants, so let's get straight into it. We're starting with this tree here. Now this is a Mandevilla. Now I thought it was an azalea for such a long time. It actually came with this house when we bought it, and it was in the dirt just behind the camera, and it was covered by a fence, so it never got any sun throughout the day, and it just never looked that good. So I've shoved it out of the soil, obviously. I've moved it into its own pot, and now I'm trying to acclimate it back into the sun. So this area gets morning sun up until 11, 12, maybe even 1 o'clock, depending on, it's now autumn here. So I'm going to move this one up to the balcony now so it can acclimate across winter and back into spring again, and that will help not burn it so much because it does get really hot in summer for this one. So I couldn't just move it straight out into the sun when I took it out of the dirt behind, away from the fence. It looks a bit scraggly perhaps on camera. It's got a wobbly stake there, which is why I don't like bamboo stakes so much, because they don't last very long anyway. But it's looking a lot healthier now. It's got a lot more green on it and growth on it than it did about 6 months ago before I took it out of the ground. So I'm very happy about this, and I can't wait to see what this looks like. It's a vining plant, so when I move it up to the balcony, there's these big trellises against the fence, so it should take over. And when it gets sun, it gets a lot of flowers, and they're beautiful, deep red flowers. So really excited about this one, but it's just going to take another year or so really just to start to embed itself into its like forever spot, I guess. Okay, so let's put him back a little bit next to all of the moss poles, which I haven't moved. So now we've got some area here, which is 2 air conditioning units, which unfortunately one of them doesn't work in this house. There's a lot to do in this house, I can tell you right now. But I do have some Adansonii cuttings here. There's 3 cuttings from this big transformation that I'm doing from my Adansonii inside. And that full 12-month transformation video is coming out very soon, probably in the next couple of months. But I have so many cuttings from it, and now they're growing. Obviously, we'll just take off that yellow leaf. Don't need it. But I have 1, 2, 3 pots here. 3 pots, there you go. And they all have at least 2 to 3, 4 cuttings in each of them as well. So these grow very easily. I've just kept these out here because I don't have enough room inside. Actually, a lot of these plants are out because I don't have enough room inside. And plus a couple of them have been eaten by caterpillars. So I just want to see how they grow, how big they grow. I may have to cut up a few leaves and stuff, but ultimately these are getting ready to be sold maybe in another month or so. Okay, so this is the next plant. So this is a Syngonium neon. It's beautiful pink, but as you can see, there's a lot of green because it's actually had too much bright light, and the leaves have actually faded a bit too much. So it's not in its healthiest moment, but it is growing quite significantly, and it is coming back. It's got a really long vine, as you can see here, and the roots are starting to come out the pot. So it's growing very well. This is another one I'm going to sell, but I just want it to get a little bit more pink before I can sell it. And, you know, again, it might just need another bigger pot or a wraparound or a pole or something. So I haven't quite figured out exactly what I'm going to do with this one, but I want it more pink, and I'm going to sell it when it's ready. So that'll be a nice sale, actually. Nice, beautiful Syngonium pink. Okay, let's keep moving. Right, you can come with me. Okay, so now I have another air conditioning unit. This is the one that actually does work, but it's turned off at the moment. So I have another 3 plants here. Again, you can probably tell what these 2 are, but these are cuttings from my Monstera Albo plant. And again, I've got so many cuttings. Some I've kept inside, some I've kept outside. And it's also a little bit of a test for me to see how they grow inside versus outside. So as you can see, there was an original first leaf, which is absolutely tiny, always is. And now it's grown beautifully. And the new aerial roots are actually growing into the soil just in there. Not sure if you can see that. Okay, so that's one. And then there's a second one who's not doing as well. The variegation is a little bit lower, so I don't know what I'm going to do here. The leaves are also tiny, so I'm not going to sell him just yet, but he's got a huge aerial root. He is begging, he is begging to be put onto a moss pole there. So I think that's what I have to do next, and maybe put him in a better pot. Oh, there's a root coming out there as well. So it might be time to go up to 1 size bigger, just so I can fit a moss pole in there and get him growing big. And hopefully a little bit more variegation in there. We'll see. Okay, next one here is called a peperomia. This is the only peperomia I have. I actually had one upstairs and that had much more of a soft crinkle leaf and I absolutely loved it. But you have to treat that one very differently to this peperomia. This one is a very thick leaf. It's very, like, holds a lot of water. It's a very beautiful plant. This is called a peperomia red edge because of the beautiful, obviously, red edge of the plant. And these leaves can grow quite big, but it is a slow grower. And I treat this like I treat a snake plant, a Sansevieria plant, pretty much. Whereas the crinkly leaf, the ones that I had before, are very different and they're much softer and much thinner leaves. And that one I overwatered because I kept it in water. It was a very different kind of treatment, which is surprising for a peperomia, I guess, but I'm learning. I don't have many peperomias in my collection, but this one I've had for a long time and she's doing very well, but she's a slow grower. So this next plant here is an orchid. Now, I think it's an orchid cymbidium, or it starts with a V, I can't remember. It's not a phalaenopsis orchid, which we're all used to, which obviously has those big wide leaves. But this is another orchid. It has the most beautiful white flowers with this pink kind of inner tinge on the inside. But this one is just growing absolutely wild. In the summer and spring, it gets morning sun directly because of the angle of the sun. So it does get morning sun up until about 10:30. And that seems to work perfectly for orchids. And even though this doesn't have any flowers at the moment, because it's not the right time, it's got so much growth. It's got a, you know, and it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 different growth points coming out of the base. And it is still in just orchid bark and a bit of sphagnum moss. That's what I put all of my orchids in. So it's still the same kind of thing, but it's just growing really well. And this actually makes me want to see if I can find more different types of orchids. Not that I need more plants, I really don't, but I want to try some more orchids. I have 4 phalaenopsis orchids, the normal ones, but this is very different and the flowers are beautiful. So as I said, so yeah, something a little bit different, growing really well now that I've got it in a good spot, but it just looks all like, it looks like grass, which is really weird. So until the flowers come back, it's just a little bit unruly. I'm okay with that. That's what a plant does. I just wish it would look a bit better. But I don't. Is that weird? I do wish it looks better, but I don't wish it looks better because that's how it's supposed to look and I do love it as well. Okay, we're getting under the trees here now. So as you can see above, I've got this beautiful frangipani tree, which is giving this amazing coverage of this area. There's no sun coming through the frangipani tree. And just behind me is a lemon tree, which is also giving good shading. So the reason why I put a whole lot of plants out here is because this is indirect bright light. At its, as it should be, as it is in nature, under the canopy with a little bit of light shining through. When it's early morning, the light comes through this way, so you get direct light in the morning. It's a beautiful, bright, but shaded spot. This is what plants, ground coverage plants, absolutely love. And this is what a lot of tropical plants that you buy in your big box stores, they're normally ground cover or, you know, more shade tolerant plants. Okay, so as we go behind me now, we're getting into a space that I have named on my own. I've named it Darwin's Corner. Now, if you know anything about the Darwin theory or Darwinian theory, theory of evolution, I kind of studied it at uni. I found it really exciting at uni. And it's basically survival of the fittest, right? So I call this area Darwin's Corner because this is where I put a lot of the plants that I'm kind of over with or done with, and I'm not really loving them that much anymore. So I just put them in this area, which is a beautiful area outside and really good for plants. And if they survive, then I might love them again. And if they don't survive, nah, I'm kind of over it. So if you get it, survival of the fittest, that's why I call it Darwin's Corner. Anyway, so the next few plants, maybe the next 10 plants even, are not going to be the best, but I'm going to show you warts and all, as I said right at the beginning of this video. I want to show you everything because I know everyone has their own little Darwin's Corner somewhere. So please, if you have a name of it down below, or just tell me about that corner and what plants are in there, write it in the comments below for me. Make me feel not alone for my Darwin's Corner. And feel free to name yours Darwin Corner too. Don't mind if that catches on. Okay, so this next one here is a fairly popular plant in some circles. It's a Monstera. It's one of these plants that's not doing so well for me. It is a Monstera Salvador, I'm pretty sure. Monstera Salvador. Actually, I'll make sure the name, I'll write the proper name on the bottom. I'm pretty sure it's a Monstera Salvador, but now that I'm second guessing it, so I'm just going to put the name on the screen just in case I got that wrong. But it's definitely a Monstera, but it's not doing so well. And I've got to be honest, I don't find this one easy to grow. I've got another cutting inside underneath the grow light. it's not doing so well either. It's okay. It's got mealybugs, unfortunately, but I'm trying to deal with that and let it grow. But I'm just trying to find areas within my house that this one will thrive in. And so far, I haven't had a lot of luck. But there isn't a lot of space in my house because it's just full, right? So it just needs a repot and a refix and almost a start from scratch, I think. So I'm just going to leave it here until I either throw it out or I give it away or I decide on it. It's in my indecision box right now, so I can stay there. Now, the plant behind it, I can't remember the name of this one. I really wish I did, because when it looks good, it is beautiful, as I guess with all plants. Now, this one is in my indecision corner as well, but I know I'm not going to throw this one away. I just need the time, I guess, and you know, it's going to be one of those plants one day when I come back and I repot it and re-put it up a new moss pole and do all the things, and it's going to look beautiful again. I just haven't had the time or the want, I guess, to do it recently. But it's a beautiful plant. So another one, these two are very much in my indecision box, but this one I may or may not keep long term. This one I need to do something sooner or later, because I do really love the pattern and the texture and the bubbliness. Is that bubbliness of a leaf? Is that even a thing? I make up words all the time. Anyway, I'm going to keep that plant, but it's not looking so good. So she's just sitting out in my Darwin's corner area, hopefully fending for herself, but she seems to be doing quite well at the moment. Okay, so this one has been repotted 6 months ago. Now, it might not look the best, but from where it used to be, this is so much better. I repotted this plant back into this self-watering pot. I'm not sure if it's enjoying the self-watering pot so much. You can see that the leaves have been eaten by bugs. Where is it? There we go. See, there's a hole there, and there's another couple of holes across that leaf as well. And what I can say is, now that it's been outside, these stripes are much more pink, as they should be. Before, these stripes were a lot more pale. So it's a Calathea ornata, I should say, by the way. Beautiful Calathea ornata. So I'm actually very happy where it is right now, how it's surviving outside. There's a brand new growth just coming through there, I can see. But again, we're going into winter, so he won't do much between now and the next 6 months. He probably might have a little bit of growth here and there, but he will stay fairly the same size. But I'm just really happy that the colour of the leaves, the dark green of the leaves, and that bright pinky, creamy pink is starting to come through the colour. And then the other one here, I've completely forgotten what this is. It's not an African violet, but it's similar. So again, not looking so good. But this is actually more of a winter plant here in Sydney, so it appreciates more of the colder temperatures. So while it's not doing so well for me right now, I'm okay with that. I'm going to leave it, and it should come back in winter. Oh, there's a brand new growth just there, I've just seen. Oh, just so cute. And the flowers on this one, that's actually why you buy this thing, I think. The leaves are actually pretty, not that you can see much of them at the moment, but it's the flowers. They're big and bright and red, I think. I'll see if I can find a proper picture or a proper video of what these look like. So they do look beautiful. They're not my best plant, but I do grow them and I'm learning a lot from them. So anyway, see how we go. So I'm going to leave him back there. Okay, so this next one I'm going to show you, I'm almost reluctant to show you because I'm not happy that it's in this situation, but it's this here. If you can't tell, this is a Mandevilla Pothos, or a Epipremnum aureum Mandevilla. I hope I said that right. But it's basically a Mandevilla Pothos, people know it as that. And when this is in good condition, it's beautiful. I just actually showed it as one of the most gorgeous, striking plants in my previous video around like almost designer looking plants. So this is in probably one of the worst states it's ever been. And I do have some cuttings inside, but I do have to do a lot of work to this. I have to get rid of like all of that old growth that isn't even growth anymore. That stem has just gone, but it did just happen to do its thing. Like this whole pole was almost nothing, and it's got this new growth coming out. I just haven't treated it well. So it needs a chop and a prop and a restart and a whole dealing. So I think I should do a few different videos around that transformation. More to come on that. Not straight away, probably in another 6 months in springtime. So we are now getting into official Darwin's Corner territory. So these next two plants are two that I kind of gave up on, but I've put them out here and they've thrived really well. So it's a plant that I've chopped and propped and I'm going to sell at a future state. So this is a Philodendron Burl Marks. Now this is a Burl Marks with no variegation, and this is actually a cutting from a variegated Burl Marks where the leaves had gone not variegated. They're turned into like full green. So I took the cuttings and they've just grown into this beautiful plant. So while it's not a very expensive plant, it's probably not a well-known plant either, just a single green, non-variegated bell marks, but it's actually pretty beautiful. It does climb. So the leaves are now starting to get really bright green. So it's come back from the dead almost. And here's another cutting which has done the same thing. So I'm going to sell both of these. I'll use my AI assistant Sally to help me with the pricing because I have no idea, but my AI that I've created actually scrapes the internet for, ideas and advice on pricing and description and all of that. So I need help knowing how much to price these at. So a really little one and a bit of a bigger one there. So that's the same plant, same cuttings, and I need to sell both in the next month or so. Okay, so next in line, I have a bucket with dirt. I don't know what to do with that dirt. It just sits there. I really should just clean it or throw it away. So ignore that. Right, the next one here is a Homelamina plant. Now, I love Homelamina plants. I've got one inside called a Homelamina Maggie, which again is doing okay. They've both got mealybugs, but this one here I bought and it had the most beautiful, like, pinkish kind of colorings coming out on the leaves, and you can just see it on this top leaf here, which is the newest leaf that's come out of this plant. But this one got mealybugs. It lost a lot of leaves. It was in too dark a spot inside my house, so I bought it outside here so it could get a bit more pink, and it's just taken a lot of time to get a little bit back to normal. So there's a lot of leaves on here, but the leaves can get a lot bigger. So it's gone from unhealthy, it's survived in Darwin's corner, and it's come back. I was worried that I was going to lose this actually. So I actually can't see mealybugs on here. I think putting plants outside sometimes where birds and other predatory mites can get to the bugs is a good idea. I do that for plants here and there, especially if I'm a little bit over them or they've got too many bugs. So this one has survived a lot of hardship, so it's taken a while to grow back, but I'm very, very, very happy about that, and hopefully it'll just be a bit more settled and get more colour. Okay, come with me. Okay, we have here two more plants on this side and then we swap over. So one plant here is a Syngonium, what is it? It's not a Three Kings, I can't remember. It's almost a basic Syngonium arrowhead. I can't remember the actual name. It's not doing so well. It's okay. I'm just letting it survive. This is one of those that is just thriving, not going away. They're fairly easy to grow. So let's see what he does. I'm just going to leave him out here. Not a big fan of it, but yeah, he's growing. So I'll just let him do his thing. So I'll just leave him. That was a nice quick one. And then this is my, oh, what is this? Not a McDowell. I've completely forgotten the name of this philodendron. I left it outside after a repot. So I tried to put it in a self-watering long rectangular planter box, I should say. But the planter box I bought, I didn't realize has two different panels in it. So instead of just growing across one long part, which is what I wanted, it grew a short part and then it has to go over this bump, which is a bit frustrating and annoying. So I didn't know what to do with it. So I left it outside. And now I've kind of left it to do its own thing, which is a shame because this plant, it is a beautiful philodendron when it looks really good. I guess, as I said, all plants are. But I have just noticed it's giving me a bit of a flower. It's called a spathe. It's a bit of a flower. There he is. See it there? And I only saw that about 2 days ago. So it's doing something. It's enjoying life. There's another new growth. And it's grown straight over the rectangular pot. So he needs work. He needs work to do very soon, actually. I need to do something. But look at all the leaves. The leaves are tatty. So I basically need to chop off almost all of it and again, start again. Maybe propagate some of the cuttings. I don't know. So that is the end of this side. Time to turn around and I'll show you what we've got on the other side. But first, before we go down to the plants on the floor, I want to show you the lemon tree just really quickly. It's really right above me. Oh, there we go. Look at it. It's huge. So this lemon tree came with the house. It's not something I planted. It's several years old. It's older than the house. It's probably maybe 15, 20 years old. I'm not sure. It's pretty big, as you can see. But when I moved in, this plant, this tree, has had a whole lot of problems. It gets stink bugs. It gets, I don't even know what half the bugs are called. It's got this little black, dots all over it. It's got leaf miner. It just has not been looked after. It's giving me lots of lemons, but because it's been so stressed, the lemons are dropping off very early, very light. It's called fruit drop or lemon drop. And they look like this. I just found one on the grass. So that is a mini lemon. And what you can see on a lot of the lemons is there's marks. It's like brown marks. I'll show you. And I'm pretty sure that is stink bug damage from when they're growing, because stink bugs suck out from the lemon and the lemon skin. So it's not the best. So it's really hard to treat because it's so tall. So even if I try and treat down the bottom, hard to get up the top. I've tried systemic stuff that goes through the roots, but it's a very old tree. So I do love it. It does give a lot of lemons. There's a lot of lemons on there right now, which need to mature. And I also realized I hadn't fed the tree since I moved in for 5 years. So I fed it recently about a month ago. So naughty me. I kind of just let it do its thing because it's a tree. So it needs as much help as I can give it. If anyone out there has some advice on how to get rid of for good, stink bug or leaf miner, without just spray, let me know if there's an easy or a decent way that you can actually get rid of it, as opposed to just treat for what you see. Let me know in the comments below if you've got anything. I'm not sure. I've done some research, can't really find anything. So maybe someone out there can help me with a little bit of luck. So going back down the other way now. So I've got, this usually lives inside. It seems to be doing very well outside. It's a golden pothos. It's fairly easy to grow. I just need to clean it up a bit. It's got long vines everywhere, and because it was living inside, it was facing one way, so the back had a lot of empty vines and the front has a lot of leaves. But since it's been out here, the leaves have got a lot more yellow and it just feels vibrant, so I've just got to clean it up, fix it up, bring it back inside. So that's another job that I've got to do. I said earlier that my Homolamina Stardust, I had another one inside. I lied, it's just here. I forgot that it was here. As I said, it's got mealybugs, so I've just left it out to do its thing. I feel a bit sorry for it, but if I keep it inside, the mealybugs are just going to continue. And I haven't treated it or done much to it, but I must admit, I think all the birds have got to it. But it also needs a lot of bright light, and it needs repotting and everything. So again, even though I do love this plant, I just don't mentally have the capacity for it. I've got so much to do. I will fix it very soon. But I'm just letting it do its thing and get it a little bit more bright indirect light from all this area, right? Because it needs some more bright light. So it needs to, I'm not going to stress it anymore by changing it anymore. I'm just going to leave it, let it get more indirect bright light, let it toughen up a little bit outside, I'll admit, and then I'll repot it and get it into a better spot in my house. Now, if you've been with my channel for a long time, you might know me through a peace lily video that I did when my big peace lily was absolutely gorgeous. It got mealybugs, of course it did, inside, so I brought it outside and I've let it go. I put it out the front. I think it got a little bit burnt, unfortunately, and now it's just been outside, and again, I've just left it. I know I can bring this one back to its absolute gorgeous beauty, but where I want to put it next to, that plant has spider mites and it's being treated for the last 3 months, so I can't really do anything about it. So again, one day soon, and this will be in one of my videos actually, I need to repot this peace lily. There is a very old peace lily cutting here from a peace lily domino, I think that was. No, peace lily domino, which needs repotting. And then my actual Picasso that's doing very well upstairs has already outgrown its pot, so that also needs a repot. So I just need to do all 3 at once. I need to make some mixing and do it, chop off all of these crappy leaves. It's still giving me beautiful flowers, even though it's not the best it can be. I just make sure she's topped up with water enough because I don't want to forget about it outside. And you can already see, even though that leaf was eaten and that leaf was eaten, there's some brand new leaves coming out here, which are starting to get beautiful again. So she just needs a really good haircut and a repot, and I need to bring her inside. So it's not hard to do. I just need to do all 3 at once, and I just need to find time to do it. And then there is a plant back here, which I did neglect for a long time. I loved it when I first got into plants, and then I kind of stopped enjoying it a bit. So that's why this girl is out here to thrive on her own. And she almost died off. She almost didn't come back until recently. It's given me this brand new big leaf here, which look, this is the leaf before, it's all eaten. And there's another leaf there, and there's a growth all the way down to the dirt down there, and that leaf is gone. So I thought it was a goner, to be honest. This is a Philodendron gloriosum. So this is the crawler. I have a Philodendron glorious, which is the climber inside that's doing very well. It's got huge leaves. And this girl got big, but she was becoming ruly outside of a pot. And she became ruly because it's in a round pot and it's a crawler. So I'm learning very fast that crawler plants are much better in a rectangular spot, or a rectangular pot, I should say, not a round pot, because it's very hard to train them to move, especially when they get big leaves like this, because the stems are like massive thick. So I've just got to mentally figure out how to grow and style these crawlers in my house, or maybe find an area outside and keep them outside and put them in the ground somehow. Again, this whole outside area for me in my house needs a whole transformation, and I'm going to do it when I get a little bit more funding behind me, so I'm more financially settled, if I'm honest. Okay, so I've got a couple more Monsteras here. So again, you might have seen a video of mine recently where I talked about plant burnout, and plant burnout is real, and I did have that for a lot of 2025. I'm only just getting back out of that fogginess, to be honest, over the last few months, and this is one of those plants that I just let go of, kept it outside, and I want to sell it off. Now, I was just going to sell it off as is, really, really cheap, but actually I want the moss pole that it's on. So I'm trying to grow it out a little bit more, and then I'm going to chop it up some more and propagate it and then sell the propagations. Plus, I am hoping that, see how this white is starting to come out a little bit more in some of the leaves? So I'm hoping while it's outside, that variegation can be a little bit stronger. So I did say I would sell it, and I will, but I've decided mentally that I'm going to propagate it, put it on another moss pole in certain areas, get me back my expensive moss pole and reuse that for another plant that I've got an idea on. So it's just going to take a bit of time to get fixed, I guess. Behind it is also another Monstera, Monstera laniata, beautiful plant, but it got eaten by caterpillars while it was outside. I think this one is going to live outside because it does much better. So somehow I need to treat for caterpillars, but it does need a reset against the moss pole. So again, there's a bit of work to do there, but these two Monsteras I'm just leaving to grow out a little bit more, and then I'll fix them in another 6 months in spring or so. So they're just sitting there quietly doing their thing. Now, it's hard for me to get in here because that's a frangipani tree trunk just there. We'll talk about this plant in a sec. I just want to touch on this plant here, the one with the big leaves. This is a top cutting of a Jose Bueno that was living in my bedroom. It was absolutely gorgeous for a long time there. And then it outgrew its spot. I kept on having to walk over it, tipping it over. So I had to move it. So I moved it outside to get a bit of sun. And unfortunately, I ended up burning half the plant in Aussie summer. That is so typical of me, I must admit. So the poor thing is just out here recovering, and I've kind of let it slip a little bit. You will see very soon, a little bit further up, that there is the bottom part of the plant, much smaller, but it's doing very, very well. So that's making me change my mind. I might have to propagate this thing entirely. We will see. Watch this space. But for now, those big leaves, she's surviving out here, doing okay. But yeah, I'm just going to see what she does over the next 6 months. Okay, this next one here is a Hoya carnosa, and she is a beast of a girl. Look how much she's, look, all this down here is all growing and growth as well. So again, this outgrew its spot in my house, so I bought it outside. I also needed to treat it for mealybugs, but they seem to have gone now, which is excellent. And she seems to be doing quite well outside as well. So not afraid of a draft because it is in a windy spot, and she's hanging up on a tree as well. And she's grown so well that I've just left her out here. And now, being Australia, it's got spiders in the back of it. Little ones, they're harmless, it's fine. But I still don't like spiders, so I can't move it back inside with spiders living in there. And there's so many leaves on this thing that I don't want to chop it up. And to top it off, you are looking at this at a beautiful time because it's just come out with these beautiful flower bombs, as you do with Hoyas. That's one of the big reasons why you want to buy Hoyas, is these flower bombs, these flower bouquets. And it's got a few of them as well. And I have been watching them come open over the last maybe month or so, just watching them slowly but surely. And just literally 2 days ago, they've all opened. So there's one big one there. There's a tiny one there. There's one here behind the leaves, which is beautiful. And there was one more, and there's that thing. What's that? No way. No way. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Where's my camera? Look at it. Look at it. That was flowers. That was this. Can you see the stems? But something's eaten it. Oh. Sorry, I know I don't normally swear, but that is just, oh, that was a big, big bulb as well, a big bouquet like this one. That was very similar. I mean, that can't be a caterpillar because the entire flower has gone, but the stem on the flower is still there. It looks like something's just come up and eaten the whole leaf. So maybe a possum? I don't know. Or a cricket? I don't know. So I'm still glad that all of the other leaves are there. It's still growing very well. I'm not worried about the leaves, but that is so annoying because you wait so long for Hoya flowers only to get eaten like that, like in a whole mouthful. Like, I can just see it in my head. Oh, anyway. Plant life, I guess. Anyway, okay, let's keep going. So annoyed. So annoyed. Okay, so now we're getting to some more ground cover plants and some cuttings. So the first one here, there's a couple of plants here. One is a Philodendron Florida Beauty. So it was meant, I bought it as a variegated plant, and I bought it really, really tiny. And it has this one beautiful variegated leaf, which I grew. But after that leaf, it gave me no more variegation. It just gave up on variegation, and it's given me all green leaves since. And I have tried to chop and propagate this, I think 3 times now, to try and get that variegation back out from another cutting or another growth. Just hasn't worked. So you can see here, there's a big long vine here. There's all grown to the back of the fence. There we go. See, and so the leaves aren't very big because it's not growing, it's not climbing anything, but they're all green. Every single leaf is green. So that's a bit disappointing. So I'm a bit disappointed in this plant. Within that is another one of those plants, the one that was eaten right at the end there. This is another one. What is it? Plowmanii? Philodendron Plowmanii, I'm pretty sure it's called. And that's another growth. It's a crawler, and he's a real cutie, actually. So he's just growing a big leaf there. There's another leaf just there. So he's growing okay, so I will sell him sooner or later. So the next one I've got here is behind there. I'm really, really super proud of this girl. This is my Calathea zebrina. Now, when I grew it inside, it just did not do very well at all. It hardly grew. It didn't enjoy it outside. But I also knew it needed a big repot. So in my 100 plus repot video in September, about 6-7 months ago, I repotted it, and it is now just blossomed. No flowers, unfortunately. And yes, there's a little bit of yellow edging, but that's outside. It's in a windy spot. It's a half rainy, half sunny. It's a bit dry sometimes. It's fine. I don't care about that, because honestly, the amount of leaves this girl is giving me is second to none. I'm so happy about it. I'm so proud of it. And I'm so happy that I repotted it and gave this Calathea more room to grow and have a little bit more freedom to grow as well. So she's really enjoying life. And then I have another Syngonium here, any spiders underneath, who is growing into the ground. There we go. I was just about to say he was doing well. There you go, growing into the soil. So I'm glad I pulled that out. So she's doing very well. I do want to sell this one though. I'm not really in love with it, even though it looks very good. It is like one-sided good because it's leaning towards the light. It's got a lot of growth. It's got about 10 plants in there actually. But I want to sell it in a bundle because it is a very like basic arrowhead plant or Syngonium plant. Syngonium and arrowhead is the same thing. But it's got a lot of good growth, a lot of good roots. So it's very healthy. I just need to sell it in a bundle of some sort. So that's that plant as well. And then I'm not going to spend too much time, but this is a Monstera Thai. Again, got a little bit too much sun damage. I've left it outside doing its own thing. It's too wonky. I need to do something, and I basically need to repot it and bring it back inside. So that's something to do over the next month or so. And then before we move on, it doesn't look the healthiest. This plant here is another one that came with this house. Oh, and we missed the frangipani tree actually. There we go. We missed the frangipani tree, but you saw the beautiful coverage. There's 2 there actually. There's one frangipani tree that is white flowers, and then there's one frangipani tree that is tropical flowers. And at this one stage, this frangipani tree gave me this variegation, which was really, really rare. I haven't really seen it much since. I've seen it a little bit. And it was these dark pink, maroni pink blotches. I'll show you a photo on the screen. The most stunning thing. I shared it on, I think, Instagram or Facebook a couple of years ago when it actually happened. And I got so many people asking me for plant cuttings. I'm like, not selling, not selling. This is just to enjoy the plant. Anyway, so beautiful frangipani trees. They do well. They lose their leaves in winter, which is a lot of cleanup, but great coverage. Anyway, and then this one here that I was just saying, this is a hydrangea. This one got a fungus, like white mold or something, fungus through the summer period. So I had to cut it all off. I didn't want it to get fungus on any other plants around here. So I cut it back to a lot, which you shouldn't do in summer, you should do in winter. So it's grown back a little bit, but it's still pale. It's not in its best light. But I have some photos, I think, from when these guys gave me beautiful, big, pink flowers. And when you change the acidity of the soil, you can change it to alkaline to acidic. And when it's more acidic, I think it's blue. And when it's more alkaline, the flowers are more pink, which I absolutely love about a hydrangea plant. The fact that you can change the plant based on the acidity of the soil is just like plant magic. It's very cool. Ow. Ow. Getting old. Getting old. Okay, so we are now at probably my favorite part of this whole pathway, and you might be able to see why when you look at all of these plants. There's some variegated, there's some really holy, there's some textured, so it's a really beautiful place. So the first one I'm going to show you is this one here. It's on the pathway in a box. There was a spider web all over it at one stage. This one. Now, this one is a philodendron dragon tail, and I am so proud of this thing. Like, I'm proud plant mama here, because I had this plant. I chopped it up a long time ago, and I had 3 or 4 cuttings around my house which weren't doing so well. Some I gave away for free, but a couple of the cuttings I put into this rectangular pot. It is a crawler. As you can see, I put it into this rectangular pot and I just let it go, but I wasn't sure if this one would come back to life, and it's just come back tenfold after repotting it. Again, this is one of those plants that I repotted in my video around repotting 100 plants, trying to repot 100 plants in one day. So you will see that. If you want to see that video, you'll see this plant in it, and you can see how much it has just come back to life. I just absolutely love it. So I'm letting it do its thing. Just beautiful. I'm very, very happy about this one. Very happy. Okay, so behind it is another cutting of my Plougmanii. The one that I've finally realized the name of that we saw at the back. This one is a beautiful cutting. It's ready to be sold. I'm going to sell it off. And the plant leaf is getting really beautifully big, so I'm very happy about that. This one here, so before I mentioned my Jose Bueno that grew really big leaves from upstairs, I had to move it outside and I burnt it. Well, this is the base. I honestly forgot I had this base until I asked somewhere if someone reminded me, and I realized, or they made me realize, it was my Jose Bueno base cutting. But what I love about it is all the variegation it's giving me now. Look at it all. Look at those leaves. Just stunning. Much more variegated than the big, more mature plant leaves. And it's loving this brightly shaded spot under the frangipani tree. As I said, it gets beautiful morning sun coming in that way as well. So it's getting enough sun to keep it bright and variegated, but enough shade not to burn it. So it's in its perfect spot. I'm going to leave it there to grow a bit more. This one is loving life. And then another one of the plants that I love out here is this one here. So this is a philodendron white princess. So on a very good day, when you're very lucky, you can get pink on these leaves. I'm waiting for that day. I know it has it in the genetics, but right now I don't really care. I mean, that is just going to be like icing on the cake, because again, the variegation on these plant leaves, this is the base cutting. I've got several like top cuttings around that I've sold off a little bit, or there's a couple upstairs still growing. But this base is looking amazing. And I think there's like 3, stems coming from the base, so it's just giving it new bright, beautiful, really full, beautiful variegation coming out. And the white stays white for a long time. It doesn't go brown very easily, and again, because of how bright this shaded spot is, it's loving life. So now I'm just waiting for it to grow up moss pole and get bigger leaves. So this one is hiding underneath. Can you see that? So this is my Peace Lily Picasso cuttings, or division. I did a division and I took all of the white leaves out and hoped that they would come back, some of them with green and white, and some of them, as you can see, have, but there's still a lot of white, like actual full white leaf plantlets in there. So I'm just, again, letting it do its thing, but I'm really happy that there's some green coming out now. Not all of them, but some of them. So I'm hoping that more green comes out as it keeps growing. But yeah, anyway, so that was a nice little experiment. I can't wait to see how that one keeps going. Okay, at the back there you can see some frangipani tree. I've cut it and I've propagated it, and they are a couple of years old, but I don't know what colour the flowers are yet, so I can't sell them and I can't remember, and I didn't tag them like an idiot. So they could be the white ones, or they could be the tropical pinky, orangey, yellowy ones, and they sell for a different price. So I've got to wait until they flower. Don't know how long that will be. So they're just in the background doing their thing. Okay, so this spot here, there's just a couple more cuttings from the Adansonii you saw right at the beginning. That's a little cutting down there. This is another cutting down here. So there's one there. Oh, I think he's growing into the ground. Yes, he is. And there's one there. Yep. But this one is the base of the plant, and it's just growing everywhere. It's escaping. Ooh, as you can see, it's escaping everywhere. So I've got to just, sooner or later that goes up on a moss pole. But just loving life in this area with the shade, with the bright shade. Okay, and then another plant that I'm really proud of, again, is a calathea. So as I said, I repotted all of my calatheas in one go. And this Freddie, this is a calathea Freddie. It took ages to come back to life. I cut it with pretty much no leaves on there, repotted it, you know, divided the base, which was stuck in really old soil. And look how absolutely gorgeous that plant is. I'm so happy about that one. So proud. My calatheas are looking so good because of that repot, and I just gave them extra breathing room. So I'm so happy about that. Look at it. The dark on the bright, the leaves seem to be perfect color. It's growing. There's a couple of little plantlets in there. I mean, what is not to love about that beautiful, beautiful Calathea Freddy? So happy with that one. Yes, it's like that squealy moment. You know, you squee. Anyway, you know what I mean. This one here is just like you saw my Peace Lily Picasso with all of the white plants. This was an all green plant, or a couple of plants that I potted into another separate pot to see if it would bring some white variegation out in this bright but shaded area. And I've given it a lot of light because these leaves are quite pale on the edges. That is actually too much light, but I didn't care because I almost wanted to stress it out in that sense, because as you can just see, there is white coming out on these new leaves, and there's some white coming out on the base as well. Just a little bit, but that's all you need. And now I'm going to encourage that by giving it as much bright indirect light as I can, bright actual direct light in morning sun. I'm trying to get as much light as I can to encourage a little bit of variegation that might still be in there, because the stems are still white and green. So there's hope still for me yet. Okay, so that was the peace lily we just saw, and this here is a poinsettia, a Christmas poinsettia. I actually bought one for the very first time. Christmas just gone about 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago. And it's dropped all of the red leaves, but it has grown really, really well for me. I'm very happy about this. It's my very first autumn with a poinsettia, and it will be my very first winter. And I know they need a lot of a different treatment in winter. They need much shorter days and not a lot of light, so I've been reading. So it's going to be super interesting to watch this one grow and to keep it alive for my very first time over winter. But wish me luck. The one thing I can tell you is they need a lot more water than I thought they did. Not drown it. They don't need to live in water, but I do water this plant a lot more often than I thought I would. Don't know why I had that assumption in my head, but yeah, they like a lot of water. So this one here is another one of my pride and joys. Now you might have seen this again in another video of mine. I feel like this video is turning into a where are they now video, not a plant tour, but anyway. So at one stage, this Ficus teneki was like up here. And I did a whole video around repotting my big plants. This was the biggest beast of them all. And after that video, I felt like it was just too big and falling over every way. So I cut it, as you can see. And now it's just growing back tenfold. But this thing is just a piece of artwork. The leaves, the color, the white tinge on the outside. I'm in love with this teneki plant. It's my absolute favorite. Big like tree type of plant, and I really do need to find an outer pot because they will grow into the soil and do what they did last time, and that is really hard to get out of the soil because the roots can get really, really thick. So this one is loving life. Don't know what else to say. Just a pure work of art in your backyard. Really beautiful plant to have. Just don't put it in the ground because they grow massive, like big tree massive. Okay, we're finally at the almost end, so I can pretty much sit down on my decking for this one. So 4 more plants to go, and we're just gonna, there's a little spider web here. It's tiny, tiny, tiny little spider, if you can see, just there. And I love those kind of little spiders because they still eat all the mosquitoes. And if you know anything about Australia, they're worse than flies. Mosquitoes, I hate them. I get bitten all the time. Anyway, I digress. Let's keep going with the plants. So we've got a very familiar plant to probably many in that corner there. It is a philodendron pink princess, not very pink, which is a big problem. And, you know, I think this is actually another cutting, or maybe this is the main plant that I took cuttings from. But it's all brown, which has turned green, browny green, browny green, until after about 20 brown plants, it gives you one frickin' nice pink leaf. And you're like, right, I have to keep it now, don't I? So frustrating. I swear pink princesses do that for a reason. Like, I don't know why, but I think they do that. They give you all of these bad leaves and they need to give you one good one and you feel guilty about giving it away. What is with pink princesses, poo princesses? Anyway, so that is that plant. At the back there, you can see a really tall moss pole. Not that the moss pole is very full. And this is a philodendron Florida. So you saw a Florida beauty over there. Now, I had this one a long time ago upstairs in my second bedroom, and it was so stunningly gorgeous and full, and the leaves were big, like getting really big, and it outgrew its space, and it also got mealybugs. So again, it's one of those times I bought it outside, I left it outside too long, it got burnt, it got eaten, whatever it was, and I just ended up leaving it outside and letting it fend for itself, which is a bit of a shame. But I couldn't keep it inside in the place that it was. So I had no idea what to do with it. And then it just ended up in this Darwin corner area in a way. And now it's growing back. I thought it would be dying off. You can see the stems up there are pretty much gone because that was all grown up there. So it's dying off, but it just needs a bit of a fixer. It needs a chop and prop, and I need to kind of start again with that plant. So I need to do that. Then here we've got a Syngonium. Now, this one here is called a Syngonium Three Kings. It's pretty stunning, actually. I do like it, especially when it's got really beautiful, healthy, strong leaves. This one got sunburnt. Again, it was in a spot in sun. It lives outside now because I've got a few different cuttings of this plant. But it has grown back really beautifully and full. It's just got a bit too much sun, so a bit too much fading on the sun from sunburn. But if you kind of take those leaves out, you can see how nice and full and variegated it really looks. So I'm actually really happy where that one is right now. It does, however, seriously, badly need a repot. So can you see all those roots in the base? If you compare it to the soil mix to the Florida plant behind it, you can see definitely it desperately needs a repot, but she's going to stay like that for another 6 months up until spring. I'm going to leave her for now. And then finally, just turning you around, let me put you up a little bit. Come on, there we go. This poor little straggly one, but it is a beautiful plant, and it is called, it's a tree actually more, and it's a magnolia tree, and it's called Magnolia Teddy Bear. Anyway, I bought 2 of these when I first moved into this house a while ago, a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And this was before I really was into plants. I wasn't really into plants before living here. And I just bought 2 plants, right, just for the house, as opposed to plants that I really liked or knew anything about. But they're called teddy bear plants because of the beautiful, like, brown furriness of the underside of the leaves. And they're absolutely stunning when they're in full bloom. They love a lot of sun though. So this one, I moved into sun, and as you can see, I burnt all of the leaves in the summer just gone in 40-degree days, unfortunately, the poor thing. So even though the leaves on the bottom look okay, the leaves at the top, as you can see, some are really straggly. But now that it's been a few months since summer, the leaves on the top are growing back again. So it just needs time to get back some growth, and I need to make sure I give it a good amount of sun without burning the thing. I took it to extremes, unfortunately, and it didn't do so well. And it is a hard stem tree, so I'm learning a lot more on how to propagate hard stems as opposed to soft stems. I'm going to do a whole video around that actually. So it's one of those beautiful plants. It can do so much better. It just needs time, unfortunately. Okay, I'll move you. So that is, oops, sorry, just moving you with me a bit here. So that is it for today's video. Thank you very much for joining me on this one. It's a bit different today. I hope you enjoyed my very first plant tour video. I promise you there's more to come with those. But otherwise, if you are at the end of this video right now, if you're still watching, can you just do me one favor and mention in the comments below which one of these plants was your favorite plant? I think I went through about 30 different plants today, so please just add it in the comments below, and I'll make sure I write every single plant, every single type of plant in the description below for you. So that is it for the end of this video. We are at the end. Thank you very much for joining me for this one today. Have an amazing week, as I always say, full of leaves, love, and laughter. And I really do mean that because it means the world. And I will see you in this next video. See you later. Arif. 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 I win.